What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. So let's be real. It seems like more and more marriages nowadays are turning sexless. Yup, you heard me. People are tying the knot, promising to spend forever together. But when it comes to intimacy, it's crickets. And we need to talk about it. Let me know what you think and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
If she withholds intimacy from you as a way of punishment and she doesn't want to work it out, definitely manipulating.
In Christianity, you're not allowed to have a divorce. So therefore, people abuse that to say, well, then I can withhold intimacy from my partner as long as I want because he or she can't divorce me because God doesn't allow it. But what they forget is Paul in Corinthians says that if you deny your body to your spouse, then you're in sin as well. So we pick and choose what we hold our spouses accountable due to what our own selfishness wants.
Yeah. This is a sensitive topic that I think a lot of women get wrong. Being intimate with your partner should not be looked at like a chore. Being intimate with each other is necessary to maintain the bond. And I just think that it's dangerous territory to expect a man to be okay with a sexless marriage. Because he does not just want your body. He does not want anything that you're not into. He just wants to love you and feel that connection.
Talk about is that 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. So it's like if you're 1 in 4. So if you're starving your man of sex and he goes and gets it elsewhere, that's your own damn fault. I swear to God, I don't feel bad for you if you get cheated on.
Nah, that's an agenda.
If you're not sleeping with your husband and he cheats on you, like that is your own goddamn fault. I swear to God. And some other girl says, you know what, I'm gonna do what she's not.
Do you love him?
Pardon me?
Do you love him?
You're being very rude. You shouldn't be asking me this.
Well, it's a simple question. Do you love the guy or not?
This is not a suitable conversation.
Why can't you just answer the question?
This is absurd. You don't know me and I don't know you, and we are not having this conversation at all.
Can a relationship still thrive without physical intimacy?
No, definitely not.
Physical intimacy is kind of like the differentiator between friendship and romantic relationship.
If you have no physical intimacy in a relationship, it just becomes a friendship. And you obviously want to have a good friendship and strong bond with that person, but what is the differentiation between a friendship and a relationship without physical intimacy?
Can a sexless marriage survive and thrive?
Let's call it the stereotypical view of long-term marriages. You know, the running joke is, after 10 years, blah. After 20 years, blah. After 30 years, blah, where you get to a point where you just completely loathe the person you're married to. And in those marriages, there's usually a lack of a lot of different things, one of which is physical intimacy and mental and emotional intimacy as well. We used to think that's the way you live. Those marriages don't sustain. So, once that ends, it's pretty much the end.
The idea of a sexless marriage, which is actually statistically very common. I think the average I read recently is the average married couple has sex twice a year, I think was the last stat I saw. And again, that's an average, so not like the lowest. And that is something I actually do run into with clients as well, is what I'll call a mismatched libido. Mm-hmm. And that kind of shame that you're talking with too, of like, oh gosh, it's on me. And like, yes, maybe there's some work that can, if it's a, performance issue, there are things that can be tried in a safe container. But if it is also just a literal mismatch in libido, there's nothing inherently wrong with that.
We almost have to redefine like what a relationship is based off of what our culture has told us a relationship is. Yeah. Right? Like a relationship is supposed to meet all of your needs, your romantic, your companionate, your sexual needs, but that is so much to place on another person.
Avoiding intimacy with you. He is not initiating it anymore. He's always tired. He's not touching you all the time. And usually men do that when they're passing by you, they either slap you on the butt or they want to touch you in certain places. He's not doing that anymore. He's either saving his energy and time for his mistress, or as weird as this may sound, he feels guilty for cheating on his mistress with you, or that he feels guilty because he's cheating on you, so he doesn't want to feel bad anymore. So in any case, he's creating distance, and most probably, yes, that he is cheating on you.
The most common harmless behavior that kills intimacy, dismissiveness. It's not overt drama, but subtle, everyday shrugging off. Saying things like, stop overthinking it, or overusing sarcasm as a shield. Saying you're too sensitive when your partner shares something tender, or laughing off a serious request that your partner has. These are what I call micro dismissals. They don't leave bruises, but they leave doubt. And over time, they teach your partner that my inner world isn't safe here. I should bring less of me. Don't ask for too much. And that is how intimacy erodes. Not from this one single moment of betrayal, but from 1,000 micro moments of misattunement that never get repaired. So if you want to build trust, start small. Not with grand romantic gestures, but by taking someone's reality seriously, even when it would be easier to laugh it off or sweep it under the rug.
When last did you fuck me?
Do you really want to go there?
Please, no, answer the question. Do you remember? Because I don't.
I'll tell you.
How can I be in the same house, touching myself with a boyfriend in the same house with me?
Okay, no, Denise, I've got this.
Right.
Okay.
Let's just hear what Paul's got to say.
All right, babe. Babe, I love you.
So why don't you touch me?
When I come home from work and I see my girlfriend, right? When I just see her, I'm happy. That's love to me. That's enough for me. But at the same time, why do you feel like you need me inside of you 24/7 before you can feel loved?
I don't feel like I need you inside me 24/7, but I'm not wood.
Okay, babe,
Okay, I'm a woman, and I find you attractive, and I would like to have sex with you once in a while, even if it's once a week, babe, because we don't.
Again, you know I don't believe in happy wife, happy life, and I'm a wife. I believe in happy spouse, happy house, because both husbands, wives, both needs are equally important. Sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, dating and romance, financial intimacy, the list keeps going, all equally important. No, it's not happy wife, happy life. If a husband's needs are not being met, that's not right. We don't get married to just let go of our needs and only give all the time. For a happy marriage, each spouse needs to be putting the other person first, in a healthy way, of course, balance all things. But nobody signed up for a non-emotional marriage, non-sexual marriage. No one signs up for a sexless, passionateless marriage. Nobody needs another roommate. We signed up to have intimacy, connection, fun with each other, friendship. We signed up to be a team and to be lovers. That is what commitment actually means.
This might make you angry, but a sexless marriage is a dead marriage. Don't sugarcoat it. I'm John DeBach, a relationship coach, and I've helped thousands of couples reignite their connection. And here's the raw truth. When physical intimacy disappears, the relationship starts dying from the inside out. You can call it a rough patch. You can blame work, stress, kids, hormones. But if months go by with no touch, no affection, no desire, you're not in a marriage, you're in a contract. Physical closeness isn't just about attraction. It's about emotional safety. It's about vulnerability and connection. And when that disappears, so does everything else. Laughter, kindness, patience, even basic respect. You can lie to yourselves and say it's not a big deal, but deep down, both of you know it. Both of you feel it. If you disagree, go ahead. But I've watched too many couples pretend this wasn't the beginning of the absolute bitter end.
Oh, I would be happy to explain. I take care of the kids. I cook, I clean, I work 7 days a week, 60 plus hours. I meet all of her needs, but she still gets mad when I want to be intimate more than once a year. Here's the truth. You're not meeting her needs. You're meeting a checklist. And then you're treating her body like it's something you're entitled to in return. You're seeing your labor as a deposit and then sex as your withdrawal. That's not partnership. That's ownership. And women can feel that. Even if you never say it out loud, even if you think you're being a good man, your energy is saying, you owe me. And a woman's body will register that. It will shut down because that's not intimacy. That's coercion. Masked as care. She only exists in your world as a wife or a mother or a function and not as a full feeling human being. Then her no is her nervous system protecting her from being used. This isn't about withholding. It's about treating connection like a transaction. Until you stop viewing her body as a reward for your effort, you will never understand why she doesn't feel safe with you.
I didn't understand this until after I get married. People kept saying, except before you're married, the devil tries to do everything he can to get you to have sex with your girlfriend. After you're married, the devil tries to do everything for you not to have sex with your wife. Something weird happened. A lot of folks are in sexless marriages. That is something we have to be diligent about. We have to not deprive ourselves sexually in that regard.
A lot of Christians don't say that, but sex is such an important thing of the relationship. Oh, absolutely. If you're not satisfied sexually, it could interfere with everything else that you're doing. So a lot of people are like, I'll have sex, but I'll be a good husband and a good father. But it's like, I know it sounds uncomfortable for Christians, but you do got to satisfy your wife. You wives need to satisfy your husbands. If you're not, then he's going to have that wandering eye. She's going to feel like she needs love from another man. And that's where the devil could get in. Is if it's a house is divided, it cannot stand. So when she goes to the office and that dude that really has never seen her naked and wants to see her naked is giving her all that attention that you used to and then just pulled out, she's going to feel unloved and she's going to make mistakes. Or if he's out and about and he's around naked women and he's like, oh, this is just my work, it's not a big deal, it's blah, blah, blah. No. But listen, if you hang around an oily floor, you're going to slip at one point. Right. So you got to take yourself out of that atmosphere and you got to put yourself in a good one. And I think this is what we're talking about.
Law
Right
of replacement. That's it.
Look, marriage without intimacy is basically just a business contract with a roommate. That spark, that passion, gone. And it's happening more than ever before. Studies show that a growing percentage of couples report having little to no sex in their marriage. And what's crazy is, this isn't just people in their 70s we're talking about. This is happening to couples in their 20s, 30s, 40s. Young people.
They're probably unaware of this, but this skit is a recreation of their childhood trauma. Now let me explain. The girl is uncomfortable with touch, and maybe intimacy as well, in which case she might have what you call an avoidant attachment. At some point in childhood, she learned that physical touch was not safe. She probably felt suffocated growing up as well. The guy, on the other hand, is craving physical touch, perhaps craving intimacy overall, and probably has an anxious attachment. At some point in childhood, he experienced neglect. Parents who gave him extremely inconsistent attention, so it created a void that he now spends the rest of his life trying to fill, chasing and chasing. And this is what people do. Recreate their childhood experience in relationships, repeating the cycle of running away from their fears or chasing that need that they didn't get as a child. And when a couple continues to fail to fulfill each other's childhood needs, a wall of resentment will get bigger and bigger until they eventually break up, only to repeat the cycle again with new partners.
Isn't it weird that back in the day, people waited to have sex until they got married? Now, everyone dives right in, and then once they actually get married, there's no more intimacy. Riddle me that. Why does that happen? Why is this happening? And also, if you're the couple that is not like newly married or newly together and you're still being intimate with your partner, what are you guys doing to keep your relationship exciting? Because, you know, I feel like I'm newly single, back on the market, and I don't look at relationships around me and think, wow, I want that. Not because I don't think they're a good relationship, but from like an intimacy standpoint, not many are very intimate. And that is weird to me. I feel like you need that bond, you need that connection. I get we're all tired. We have other priorities, such as sleep or the kids or whatever. But why is it that times have changed so much? Anyone, please answer this.
Satan wants you to have as much sex as possible outside of marriage and as little as possible when you get married. Wow. Bro, listen, the best way to celibacy is to get married. That's what people are saying. One of the reasons why is that when you get married, it requires a different level of relationship skills that you can't get away with the stuff you got away with when you was a boyfriend. And so because I was unhealed, because I didn't know what emotional communication was, because I really didn't know how to speak into my wife's life, I didn't know how to create safe spaces. And for damn sure I wasn't present. I didn't know how to be present. I'm thinking about what I needed to accomplish at church. I wanted the yams. And then I wanted to go and do what I needed to do. I'm saying as a result of that, my wife was like, I don't like this person. And so she shut down on me sexually. And so I'm just like, I ain't gonna cheat, but I ain't about to sit up here and be backed up either. And so one thing led to another, and I got full on addicted to porn. I mean, people throw that word addiction out loosely. Anytime you having a behavior that is completely unmanageable and you don't have mastery over it, it has mastery over you. I would go preach places and I'm just like, well, I ain't about to go get no escort. So let me just go ahead, you know what I'm saying?
So you also was justifying it as this is better than doing that at least.
It's anger and entitlement that pushes you to those self-medicating behaviors.
Please stop telling yourself that it's completely normal to go to bed every night and have absolutely no physical affection or intimacy with your partner whatsoever. That it's just a natural consequence of being in a long-term relationship or a marriage to have your relationship be completely bereft of any passion, play, or intimacy whatsoever. It's not normal, it's not healthy, and we need to stop minimizing it because it is consistently the thing that destroys relationships. A lack of physical intimacy is one of the top 3 most commonly cited reasons for divorce, but we ignore it because we have been brainwashed into believing that's just what happens when you're with someone for a long time. But the reason that it happens to so many of us is because none of us are actually taught about how desire works, and specifically how to maintain desire. Because there is a skill involved in maintaining desire. But once you understand how to tap into it, it's a game changer. You can have plentiful amounts of intimacy, pleasure, fun, play, all of those things. And you can have them quite effortlessly and permanently. I've seen it happen again and again in couples I've coached, couples who have literally gone from not touching each other for months to getting it on multiple times within a week.
Why is it so many women are getting married and then, or even getting in a relationship, and then they don't want to be intimate with their partner? That's a part of being in a relationship. If you don't want to be intimate with your partner, you sure as shit better be open to him going and finding it elsewhere. I'm not saying every single day. I'm saying when you're going long stretches and you still don't want to be intimate with your partner, that's called a roommate. People don't get in a relationship, they don't get married to have a roommate. If you're not going to do it, expect they will find someone that will. Period. Period. I said what I said. I stand 10 toes down to that. Intimacy is part of a relationship. If you're not intimate, why are you even in a relationship? You can have a best friend. You don't hook up with your best friend. You're not intimate with your best friend. In a relationship, that's a part of emotional attachment, intimacy. If you're missing something that doesn't make you, and so you don't want to do that, then go to counseling, have a conversation. But not being intimate, you're just pushing your partner directly into someone else's bed. That's my personal opinion.
You ever notice when couples stop being intimate, everything else starts to feel off? The small arguments feel bigger, the silence stretches longer, and suddenly it's like you're 2 people just living in a house as roommates, living side by side, managing life, but not really connected. And most of the time, it's not because the love is gone. It's because life gets loud. Work, kids, stress, routines. Intimacy slowly slips to the bottom of that list. But intimacy isn't just what happens in the bedroom. It's the kiss before one of you walks out the door, holding hands as you're driving to an event, the inside joke shared across the room. It's those little moments that say, I still see you and I still want you. When that stops, the distance doesn't just grow physically, it grows emotionally too.
Do you ever wonder why women stop being intimate with their partner? It's not what you think. It's not because she doesn't care or doesn't want to. It's because when a woman feels no emotional safety, her body literally shuts down. For women, intimacy is all about emotional connection. Without it, no matter how hard she tries, she will not be able to fully receive pleasure. Over time, she starts to become cold and rigid. Then she starts living in wounded masculine energy just to protect herself. Our very own anatomy shows us the truth. Men are supposed to be the givers and women are supposed to be the receivers. But for her to truly receive, she has to feel safe enough for her to fully surrender into her feminine energy. So if you never want to lose intimacy in your relationships, then men, you need to start providing emotional safety to your partner. And women, you need to start embodying your feminine energy, which feminine energy is a feeling, because intimacy should always be pleasurable for both partners. And if it's not, you know something's wrong.
There's also going 8 months to a year with no sex. There's also no conversation, like I said, about each other. There's also no date nights. There are no holding hands. There are no kissing. I mean, like...
Yeah, it got so bad, y'all. Like, I would walk up, you know, I have a beard, goatee or whatever. I would walk up behind her and I would try to kiss her on like her neck or her shoulder, something like that, and she would jump.
Because it was
just
it was foreign.
And it would, of course, when she would jump, I would draw back because I'm not trying to put you in no uncomfortable position or nothing like that. And that's one thing, if a man is really caring about his wife and wanting her and desiring her, but making sure that he's not, you know, overstepping his boundaries, is when your wife is jumping when you're trying to like kiss her or something like that. Then that's a total turn off, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, man, let me just go on back over here in my corner because, you know, because I ain't nothing about to go on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be it would go from that being a couple days to weeks to months.
Today, let's talk about something that most people won't say out loud. Withholding sex as punishment from your husband is emotional abuse. Yes, I said it. Go ahead and come for me. Bring it on. Now, this can go both ways, of course, but today I'm specifically focusing on the husbands out there. Relationship experts and the American Psychological Association recognize that emotional abuse is not just insults or yelling. It's also about control and manipulation. Intentionally withholding affection or intimacy as a way to punish your spouse is a classic form of emotional abuse. For many men, sex is a primary way for them to connect emotionally. When you take that away on purpose, you're not just hurting his feelings, you're damaging the relationship. Research shows that when intimacy is withheld, it can create deep resentment, emotional distance, and even psychological damage. Studies in marriage counseling consistently find that lack of physical intimacy is a major predictor in marital dissatisfaction and, yes, infidelity. Esther Perel, a leading relationship therapist, points out that affairs often begin not just for sex, but because people feel invisible, unappreciated, or disconnected at home. Now, I'm not excusing cheating, okay? Having an affair is always a choice, not a mistake. And the person who steps out is responsible for that decision. But let's be real. Despite what everyone says out there or wants to believe out there, affairs, especially long-term ones, are rarely just about sex. They're about unmet emotional and physical needs.
So let me ask you, do you think modern marriages are doomed to be sexless? Are couples giving up too easily, or are they just losing sight of what marriage is supposed to be about? At the end of the day, marriage without sex isn't a marriage. It's a contract, and if people keep letting that intimacy slip away, don't be surprised when more marriages fail. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one.